Hey there, Next War Gamers. It's Mitch. I'm back. Hopefully the audio and video issues and some of the older videos have been, if not completely fixed, at least better. With the upcoming release of Next War Iran, which should be easily within the next month or so, it's now July 31st. I want to do a little series, a better series on how to play. Although I'm not going to use Next War Iran, I'm going to use Next War Taiwan, since that's what we're currently playtesting, second edition, since that's what we're currently playtesting, trying to get out the door. So you're going to see some playtest art. I apologize for that in advance, although it's pretty far along. Some of the counters probably are a little messier than they will be in real life, and there's already been some changes to the op map and the strategic display, which are relatively minor, except for one case, which you'll see when we get to that point. During this, I'm just going to step through the game turn, probably do a turn, maybe two. We'll see how it goes. I'm using a strategic surprise scenario setup. Happen to be one of the ones I'm playtesting. I'm not going to run through the setup process per se, maybe a different video for how that works, but this is I'll go over a little bit about the situation that this particular game for my opponent, who was playing the ROC and I'm playing the PRC, and how he chose to set up. The PRC is pretty much fixed, right? They get what they get at the start. They don't really have much choice in setup. The ROC has a little bit of choice, and then we'll run through some of those things. So one of the bigger things, of course, is optional rules to choose. So you probably can't see those, which is fine. But I will just let you know that the U.S. is coming in at level 2, so it's naval and air. The Commonwealth isn't coming in at all. Didn't feel like dealing with that. And Japan's coming in at level 2 as well, which is also naval and air. For optional rules, the Allies simply chose the F-35s, so that's 4 F-35s, 3 USN and 1 USMC, and then an additional USMC F-35B that can base on an AMP. The non-allied player chose PRC carrier air stealth, which is an optional rule that allows them to put some stealth airplanes on their carriers, stealth fighters, so some land-based stealth fighters, a stealth bomber, the H-20, which is supposed to be operational sometime soon, whatever that means, right? The additional PRC carrier, so they've got 2, arguably 1 operational, but 2, but this kind of posits a future war, right? So that it'll give them the option to have that 3rd/4th while they retire the first one, but have 3 operational carriers basically. One of the options I almost always choose as the PRC player is to Kudamain the Penghu island. That way I don't have to deal with it using the rules. It's just it's just easier that way. But that gives the allies some VP for that, but that's okay. And then 5th generation operations, which we'll get to at some point, but that's an optional rule that the PRC can choose to utilize some 5th generation ops for basically beach / naval bombardment kind of stuff, kind of simulating either drone swarms, UAV, USV, UGV, whatever you want to call it, working through there. So we can get to that later. So the situation really, for the ROC setup side, they're kind of constrained about where their troops can set up. So you've got, let me zoom in a little bit here. So you've got the 3rd Theater Command guys all kind of clustered around Taipei. You can see here, pretty standard setup. We've got the 5th Theater Command guys. There's only a few of those that start on the map. Again, this is strategic surprise, so it's kind of a PRC dream scenario. And then, of course, you've got the 4th TC guys with some Kaohsiung Marines. The other Marines are here in Taipei, and then down here we've got the Hualien. I apologize if I butcher that, and the Taitung garrisons there. So you can see there's 2 AH-1s here and some Apaches here in the hardened air bases. It's pretty standard setup, I think. An interesting setup that my opponent chose. So he chose to put 1 of the ROC SAGs out here in the inshore box, and then one and actually in the Taipei AAZ. So the AAZ concept is new to Taiwan. It's amphibious assault zones, and where that comes into play is the new beach defense track for Taiwan that the Taiwanese get some points for in every scenario, that they can increase the beach defense tracks where they want to spend those points to defend or whatever. It's a limited number. It works out to be everybody starts in the 1-1 box, and then the number of beach defense points that you can spend to get to the next box or whatever is that cost there, that I just highlighted in parentheses. So obviously put most of the points into Taipei and a bunch of beaches into the 2-3 box. The 2 is the actual strength of the beach defenses. It's Kaohsiung, Taichung, basically these eastern facing boxes, except I believe Chiai, I don't know how to say that, Chiai, I don't know, this one. Mostly because there's not really much around here, although this port might be within grabbing distance. This one would be a little harder to get to, but obviously there's no defensive stuff in here. You could potentially invade, block off access, and get some troops in there, block off access, right? So we'll see. Maybe we'll try that and see how it goes. Anyway, just wanted to give you the lay of the land before we really get started with turn 1. But before we do turn 1, we have some pre-game activities, which we'll do next time.